Coach. Kyle McKenna here with the EHL. Congrats on the win. You guys defeated the Boston Junior Rangers 5-3. Thanks for your time. And what's your initial thought on the game and the win?
Exciting is one word. I still have some adrenaline. Just trying to keep the team composed. It was a good team. It was fast. It was physical. We had to adapt and learn things on the fly. It was our first time kind of playing that team. So we had to make a bunch of adjustments. Really proud in the way the boys kind of fought through adversity. At one point we had to pull our goalie and, accomplish that and get us back in the hockey game. That's what I love best about the team is just their ability to rally. And no matter what the score is, they're going to keep going, and they believe no matter what. So I think it was just one of those situations where we weren't going to give up and we were going to play a full 60, and sometimes it just works out.
Coach Chris Russo from the EHL, we appreciate your time. After you go down 3-1, just that mark from about 5 minutes gone by in the third until you cut it to 1 with about 5 left in the third. Mm-hmm. What's your mindset? What's your mentality? What's your message to the guys?
At that point in time, it's one at a time. We needed to go back on attack mode. I think the second period, we kind of backed up a little bit. They're a good team, especially with the puck, time and space. So they were able to make more plays than I was comfortable with. So we just started kind of closing gaps, taking it to them, playing a little bit more aggressive. Just kind of worked in our favor.
Coach, when we touched base earlier before the Frozen Finals and just specifically about this contest against the Junior Rangers, your expectations for you guys to win was to be fast, physical, and relentless, and capitalize on our opportunities, and also win the special teams battle. I think you basically hit all the check marks. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I mean, you cash in on the power play, you kill off a few early penalties. And how big is that first goal?
Huge. I think, it was big for our confidence especially to go get one. You got a goalie who's just been named goalie of the year. So, anytime you come up against a hot goalie, you want to find a way to just break the wall down and try to get him off his game early. So we were happy to get on the board quick. We knew that if we could just do that and keep putting good opportunities down the line, that some more were going to go in.
Coach, Boston outshot the Lumberjacks by 9 and actually won 10 more faceoffs, but you guys out-hit them by 18. Yeah. How important was physicality in your message, not just coming in today, but coming in the whole tournament?
Huge. For us, we're an extremely well-conditioned team, so 60 minutes is a long game. No matter what the score is, things can happen. Bounces can go the wrong way early on. But usually, if you can find a way to wear the other team down and keep pushing forward, good things are about to happen at some point in time.
Coach, just going back to Raduzzi, I just thought he looked very calm, cool, and collected, and he just seemed confident.
Yeah.
Not that he's not ever confident, but just how big was he? If you just elaborate more on his play.
Well, I think Doozy is a little bit undervalued. He's a kid that is extremely consistent. He was our rock that kind of held the team together last year through that big run. This year, we've got a really young group of guys. We play extra offensively, so we give up a little bit more on the defensive end, I think, this year than what we would typically like to. And for him to have the numbers he has while the team had to learn how to play at this level for the first 5 months of the season is actually incredible. I think he's the best goalie in the league. He's probably the best goalie I've ever had the pleasure of coaching. So it wasn't really a surprise to us that he was gonna do that.
Coach, you mentioned that you're obviously going to give up a few more goals this year.
Yeah.
How much more important is it to have David when obviously he has a higher goals against? I mentioned this during the broadcast. He has a bit of a higher goals against, but how important is he when he makes 1 or 2 really huge saves in that game?
It's big. You can afford to be extra aggressive when you have a guy that's capable of completely saving you when you fall apart. And realistically, the reason Raduzzi's numbers are a little bit like that is because we give up breakaways. We give up 2-on-1s. We give up 2 breakaways on our power play today, right? So I think his numbers are a little bit inflated based off of mistakes that we've made like that, because we have a young team. Almost the whole entire team can come back next year, so it's exciting for next year. But I think Raduzzi's kind of been able to get us out of trouble and allow us to play the way we want to offensively, knowing he's that good.
Coach, just kind of transitioning back, even on the broadcast, Jefferson Mills and I were just kind of discussing how it's definitely a feeling out process. I think for two teams that haven't played each other all year and now you're in the Frozen Finals. I thought that was apparent in the first two periods. Obviously, with the explosion in the third period. What was the message to your boys after the second period, and what was the vibe like in the locker room?
Like I said, I think we backed off a little bit in the second. I thought we played with a little bit of hesitation. We let them kind of take it to us a little bit, and we don't play that well. We spend a lot of time on offense. Not a lot of good things happen when you spend time on defense. So for us, it was just going back to the drawing board, say, hey, these are the things that made us successful to get here. Those are the things that we did in period one, where I felt we had a lot of quality scoring chances in period one, and we just wanted to get back to that in period three.
Now, Coach, the score today, obviously the big offensive star for Boston was Joey Schaefer, and a lot of the score sheet was the top line, Connor Basal, Nathan Young, Joey Schaefer.
Yeah.
And I noticed that Ryan Bailey and Andy Moore are the two top scorers on this team, but they were on the second and third lines. What was the key to really shutting down the secondary scoring in this game?
Yeah, to be honest, we didn't focus on them at all. I couldn't tell you which is their first line, which is their fourth. We had no intentions of focusing on those players or their team. We play best when we have all 21 guys going in the lineup, and we roll four lines. We have certain players that play power play. The guys that don't play power play are the guys that are on the penalty kill. So we really try to spread out our depth through the game so that in tight games we have the gas to, make a push in the third period, kind of like we did today. So, that they're a good team. We have we respect their ability a lot, but we don't match lines. We're not really impacted by who they have.
Coach, it's exciting, but is it, as soon as you leave the rink, it's over?
Yeah, we're focused on tomorrow already. There's no, they can celebrate on the way to the locker room, but once that door is shut, we're already thinking about tomorrow and what the game plan is.
How important is it? We've said, Kyle and I actually said on the pregame that Boston and New Jersey are probably the two favorites in this tournament. Boston is arguably the deepest team. How do you feel? Obviously, you have to keep the pressure on, but how do you feel just seeing where you stand after the first game against arguably the best?
I mean, I think a lot of the favorites and stuff, and the media and gossip and speculation, it's not really something that us coaches really pay too much attention to. I definitely wasn't quite sure how the other teams were going to be, with Hockey TV and trying to figure out the speed adjustment and stuff and how that's going to play out. But I didn't think that was too much different than the games we've had in the North Conference all season. Not a lot changed today. It seemed like a normal hockey game. We had to do certain things to succeed. If we weren't doing certain things, we had to pay for it. So I think it was a really good hockey game. And I think, the standings or whatever at this point is irrelevant to us.
Coach, how do you think, obviously we've mentioned you haven't, Vermont and New Hampshire are the only teams who have really faced each other this year in this tournament. How did you compare trying to scout Boston, and New Jersey for that matter, as opposed to trying to scout New Hampshire, a team that you faced all year?
Exactly the same. We take a look at what they do on the power play. We take a look at what they do on the penalty kill. Both our special teams have different adjustments they can make based on their setups. So it just it was very routine for us. We kind of prepare for each team all season long, or especially the second half of the season, as if it was a playoff matchup, right? So it just feels like we're in a routine. There wasn't really that much that was different from our typical routine for us today.
All right, Coach,
that's all for Jim Mosso, head coach of the Lumberjacks. Now we're going to bring in goaltender David Raduzzi. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit between this.
Move it back a little. Okay. accommodate you a little better.
Yeah, it's all good. Where am I looking?
You're looking at us.
All right.
Verduzzi, it's a heck of a win today over a great team. You know, you guys do come in as a bit of a Cinderella story, but what was the vibe like just entering the contest today? I kind of noticed in warm-ups, you guys just had a lot of energy from the get-go.
Yeah, you know, we finished off the regular season winning 5 out of our last 6. So we kind of set the tone then, and we knew, you know, we were never going to be counted out. So going into playoffs, we've had the same routine as we did in the beginning of the season. Right now, you know, we've just been getting better every game. And I think the comfortability of having the same routine has really allowed us to excel and, you know, not have to worry about a lot less on the ice. So it's been good.
Your goals against obviously is a little higher than maybe the average goaltender this year. You played just about as well as any goaltender. What is it that keeps your mindset so high even after you let up number 3? Because obviously you let up 3 at Joey Schaefer, but what kept you in it mentally last few minutes?
I'm confident in my team. I was telling Coach I almost feel more comfortable with us being down than up. You know, we're really resilient. Along with that, I know I get a lot of shots. I think that's why my save percentage is so high. So I know if a couple bounces don't go my way, I'll be able to make it up with, I know there's more shots to come, and I kind of, you know, get that out of my mind, and I'm really focused on the next puck, and anything that happens is behind me. So I have a really short mindset and just a lot of faith in my team.
You know, speaking, you know, I know you have a lot of faith in your team, but did you even know how much time was left when you guys scored the second goal?
No, I didn't. I was on the bench. We were short, so we pulled the goalie to get an extra attacker. So I was kind of just praying and catching a breath. And I know there's still a little bit of time to get out there and you know, for the game to go either way. So I had to stay ready, even if we were to score, which we did. So you know, just keeping my mind in it. You know, we kind of celebrated it pretty hard after a couple of those goals, and we had to reel it back in and focus up for the last 2 minutes. It's a dangerous team, and they played to the last buzzer. They were trying to get chances with 30 seconds left. So just keeping the mindset the same is what helped out.
When Masso calls the timeout, you know, what was his message, and you know, what was the vibe like on the bench at the time?
It was just to settle down. You know, we have a young team. We have a lot of inexperienced players. So I think the message throughout the season, especially in today, is just to, you know, keep calm, think less, and just let the game come to you. So we knew what we needed to do at that timeout. We took our breath, and you know, it worked out.
David, you mentioned reeling it in not only during that timeout, but even just those couple of goals in general at the end of the game. Boston is one of the more favored, I think you heard that, I mentioned that to your coach a minute ago, one of the more favored teams in the tournament. How do you keep sort of a level head as you move on to the next game in these next few days of the tournament?
Just being confident in ourselves, and I think it goes back to that routine. You know, sleeping well, eating well, having our warm-ups. You know, the puck doesn't know it's a different game, so we don't treat it like a different game. It may have more on the line, but you know, if we play the simple way that we've been playing, you know, it's a recipe for success. So we're going to keep that going.
All right, David, we thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
See you tomorrow.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Dave. Best of luck.
Thanks.
Just kind of stumbling on that over.